Hello, I'm Jim and D and D, and welcome back to Power Up Gamers. This is session 2 in our campaign Homeward Bound. It's a Microscope 5e campaign, and and we are still in the starting process of making our setting and coming up with characters and all of that. So tonight we're going to dive in a bit further into the setting. With me I have Trish, Ish, Cal, Al, Donald, and Christian. Christian is going to help us finish making the setting, and then he's planning on making guest appearances later on in the campaign. And we will have Mary E. Chris with us next week for the character creation, and she'll be our first player. So how's everyone doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Smashing.
Great.
Awesome.
I'm good.
Cool. Oh, so would anyone like to kind of review what we already made?
The silence is deafening. Well, then I guess I might as well do it. So, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so last time we're using the microscope system to create this because it gives a lot of freedom, and it has different let's call them acts, as in a play, where we, for each act, we zoom into the more specific parts and details of our world. And last time we started by, in the first act, we found the overlaying themes and story, which are heroes versus villains, good versus evil versus greater evil, villains versus heroes, evil versus good, and general exploration, which we thought they give some freedom to how we want to move along with our story and progression of the history of our world. Then next on, the second act, we decided each person decided on what they wanted in this to exist in this world and what they did not want to exist in this world in the rather extensive way, seeing as how we found a whole lot of things that we wanted, and all of them are really interesting, and I am looking forward to building the world some more using what we found. And then we went on to actually creating some real history for our setting to flesh it out some more. And that's more or less what we did last time.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian.
You're welcome.
And there's a whole lot of things added that we will enjoy playing with it. So if the viewers haven't watched video 1 yet, I would suggest they go back, watch Homeward Bound episode 1, and kind of watch as we're doing this. It's just because if you don't kind of follow in order, when we actually kick off the campaign, you'll have basically no idea what the setting's like. So tonight we have a couple things we really want to kind of focus on. One of them is we said ancient technology exists that's based on magic. we want to kind of know what that technology is and kind of how it was discovered and how it affects the world. We said that magic is an ordered system. Mechanically, it works the same, but it's flavored as being based on basically the five elements. So we want to kind of dive into that and maybe how it affects some magic users. And then, and the last bit I want to kind of do, if we have time, is set up basically a starting town or base of operation, kind of where the campaign will actually start at. So that's kind of my ideas for what we want to get done tonight. So,
Sounds fun.
taking a look at our little document here, we had left off basically with if our setting is a journey to the center of the Earth beginning on the surface and then descending into the heart of the planet. Our bookend history is there are events that send the surface dwellers underground, and then there's a faction war about returning to the surface. In between these, we have another period and some events, and shadow creatures beginning a surface invasion, making it uninhabitable. Then there's colonizing the underground, and a discovery of a plague, discovery of the ancient artifacts and technology, and then the faction war. So, just like last time, we're going to take turns making a new period, a new event, and or playing out a scene. Okay. So let's go left to right on the screen, and I'll bring up the rest. So first will be Christian.
Oh yay! Yeah, awesome. Now why won't my desktop start? Anyways, yeah. That's a tough one.
So it's
Yep.
tough being first on the spot.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if we had gone by the line with this last time, it would actually have been your turn, Cal. But I guess
Yeah,
I'll
it
take
would've.
this one. Well, yeah. I kind of want to actually. I mean, there's so much that we could just choose, and I think I'll just go with an easy one and put on an event or something like that.
Okay.
So let's put it. Let's put it somewhere right. This is actually harder than I thought. Sorry.
Maybe you can you can think over it and then just pass it to someone else.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. Now I got the turn. Now I'm going to do it. Damn it.
It's
Okay,
only a thought only.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to put. I really want to put a scene actually already. Hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. And it's related to the. Yeah, sorry for the swearing. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Denmark. I'm tired of this. balls because I had to drive my dad around for a while during the night, and then we had a beer like just to end the day. So let's see. I'll put the event right after the discovery of the plague, and it's a scene. And
What is it? We get to put our stage hats on.
yay, lovely.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're going to start off strong on this one, and it's going to be the first scene right after the plague discovery, and the question is, how was the plague discovered?
Okay.
Oh, someone's got a maniacal laughter, then it's good.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yes, it is.
How was the plague discovered? That is a very good question. I already got my own ideas, but you never know what will happen when we are playing this one.
Exactly.
All right.
Get around, children.
Okay, time to pick the actors.
Yep.
Well, I think Cal should definitely act in this one because he didn't get to act last time.
Definitely.
So
Sounds fair. Sounds fair.
So the way this works is basically every person can make a character. You do not have to play the same character you make, and you can make like an NPC or a group of NPCs, like a crowd of peasants.
I actually have a question about that. Would it be possible to play as multiple characters in the same scene? I mean, I honestly don't see why not.
You could, but they recommend like one per player.
Yeah, and I can get that. I mean, it's hard to play multiple characters during the same scene unless one of the characters actually leave. But the thing is, we have all these NPCs, and all the times that I have used Microscope, which has only been with you, Jaren,
Yeah.
we have never actually used any of the NPCs, and I think that's really a wasted opportunity.
They kind of take a back burner usually.
Yeah, so I think while of course Cal definitely should be acting in this one, I think we should also maybe put some more focus on the NPCs this time, just to try it out, just to see how it works.
Okay,
also,
that's fine.
I mean,
So,
it kind of makes sense for this kind of scene.
Yeah, so something we could do is each person could make a character and an NPC.
Yeah, that could be that could be definitely be something. And then each NPC needs to have at least some reaction to what's going on. Not necessarily a line, but we have to describe the NPC's reaction to what's going on. What do you think of that?
I think it's an interesting idea. Another thing we can do is not make as many characters as there are players, and then have the odd man out play the NPC.
In that case, I will. I'll volunteer as the NPC this time, or as the NPCs, because if I just pick one, it would be the same as if I had made a character and picked that one.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so I'll just react as the NPCs.
Okay.
Wonderful. You get to be patient zero. This is like way form.
And I'm sure we'll figure out a name for him, etc.
Who says he needs a name? He's going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, patient zero could be a cube that dies.
Okay.
My guy has got a name.
We'll just call him Guy.
Remember to write him into the document so that we know who he is.
Yes.
What? Just his name?
Yeah, put him under.
His name, race, occupation. Keep it simple, more or less. It's really up to you, but name, race, and occupation is kind of what we've been doing the last couple of sessions.
So I put DA slash.
No, that's the
no.
initials. That's put
That's-
in.
That is my the initials I use. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So you would write Cal, then Mace.
just look above the event. You see NPC, CHS, Trish. Your
Mhm.
name or initial you want to use.
Yeah, that's the script from the, well, not the script, but that's how we did the last scene.
Right.
Hmm.
What?
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Looking good. Looking good.
Cool, an orc.
Hmm.
Oh, even has an age.
Of course he has an age. Every character I make has an age.
Awesome. Awesome. That is
Now I just
awesome.
have to make an NPC quickly.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess since I will be playing NPCs, I probably also have to make one as well, or maybe two. We'll see. So let's see.
I
Yeah,
might.
you might want a second one.
Thinking a NPC minor. Minor.
That could be someone who, yeah, could be. So we'll just say,
Yeah, I would keep it pretty simple, all with like 2 NPCs.
Minor.
mhm.
A minor.
I know.
Yeah, he's that's why he's an NPC. He's simply not important.
So you're a major minor, he's a
So-
minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here I have another question that's more of a technical one. Are the viewers able to see our document?
No,
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
unless
Just
unless we screen share it.
yeah. I mean, I could do that as soon as I
could.
get my desktop up and running.
Wait, I
but-
can actually do that.
Oh, awesome.
Elite.
Okay, do you see it now?
I do not, because I cannot. I
Probably-
cannot.
No, it's the
Yeah.
the guy
Yeah.
that shuts the order.
Whoa. Yeah,
Basically,
we can
oh,
see it. We can see it.
Yeah, the foreman,
Okay,
basically.
good. So don't
Yeah.
switch
Okay.
your hangout.
Hmm. Yeah. Awesome.
I am gonna be playing Locrius, the male
Locrius.
human knight.
Yeah, he was
last
he
time.
was there last time, but he didn't really have anything to say. So it's good to see him this time.
Yep, I'm
um,
gonna be playing him this time.
Yeah. Then we have to actually figure out how many years are this has passed since the last scene.
We don't know yet. That's
We don't
one
know
of
yet.
the nice things is it could be happening at the same time.
Oh, I see.
It could be happening a year down the road, a decade. That's all something we kind of plug it in when we actually make it part of the official setting and kick off the campaign. We'll have
I see.
I'll go in and like name these events and periods.
I
And
see.
then
I
it
see.
will be
Makes sense.
basically part of the history of the world and the setting.
Mm.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Another NPC, huh?
MPTK.
Oh, yeah.
I can too.
There we
Okay,
go.
so this NPC is different from the NPCs.
We don't have to use all of these guys, remember?
No, we don't have to use them all, but they're there in case anyone else that's playing the scene wants to use them. They're right there.
So there's
Awesome.
for me, which is a good idea. Okay, we still
Yeah.
need a character for Trish.
Hmm. Yeah, the way I see it with these characters, it might actually be happening at a mine, which also makes sense because we have already talked about how the plague is being discovered by digging through the
Yeah.
earth.
Like, we hadn't really decided, like, how it was discovered in the mine, but we know that it was either
No.
they broke some type of stone they'd never discovered, or
Mhm.
maybe they stumbled across something we don't know yet, but that's what we're about to find out.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
actually never really even said it was related to them digging through the earth. It was,
Mm.
we had said it was discovered as they descended further underground.
True.
So it could have been plant life or anything. But
Mhm.
given the setup, I think we're all on the same page that it's something to do with the mines themselves.
It
Yeah.
would seem that way.
It would be at a mining camp of some kind.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the general feel I get from having these characters here. So,
Exactly.
yeah. All right.
And is old Lodo going to be your character, Trish?
Pardon?
Is the blind beggar going to be your character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
just double checking. You can see the document in the Hangout, right?
I'm actually looking at the document, not the hangout at the
Just a
moment.
sec.
Yeah, I see it on your screen.
Good, good.
Okay, so we'll give Christian a minute to get back. It looks like we have the characters that are going to be involved in this setting, or this scene. And we have a few NPCs. Looks like basically all miners. Except for Patient Zero, we're not sure what he is.
Am I back? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I hate using my tablet, because I misclick. Sorry. I'm back now.
Okay, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so who do we want to kick off this scene? I think it would make sense for the healer and Patient Zero.
Probably.
And then
I
maybe Loki is coming in to find out what's going on.
and I have an idea, so can I start?
Sure.
Awesome. So, well, we're currently in a tent near one of the mines, near a so far unnamed city. This mine has been dug out for. It's been a few years since they discovered the ore inside, and they have started excavating and digging it out and it has been going on for a few years now, and the pay is decent for the people working there, and things are going more or less as people would expect. Right now we are in one of the tents near the entrance to the mine, and here sits a human male, more or less 35 years old, and he is currently checking up on his equipment. And that is your cue, Donald.
Okay.
You're alone in the tent so far.
Okay. My character, he would gather his supplies and begin his daily routine of checking all of the patients and miners to see they are in good health.
And there are a few patients because accidents happen, and it seems to be a general day until you hear some noise, some rustling outside of your tent, and the opening is torn open by this huge orc male who's carrying one of his fellow workers, a dwarf. And this dwarf, he's got sweat on his brow. He's coughing. There's tears running down from his eyes and cheek, and mucus and saliva running down on his face, and his shirt is just drenched in sweat. And he's coughing his lungs out.
Tell me what happened. The healer would begin prepping his supplies to begin treating the patient.
Yes, Cal, tell him what happened, because it's your orc that entered the tent. I am already loving this.
Just like a TV host.
Yes.
Yes, Cal.
Okay.
Just like a game. Oh, sorry, nope.
Oh, so you brought one of the patients. Tell me, when did the first sign begin to show Varstock?
He was in Shaft B. We heard some raised voices. He came stumbling out. He said something about a black rock. And then he collapsed and started wheezing, so I brought him here.
Was he in good health before going into that tunnel? Or at least, okay health?
He was fine. He was making quite a few jokes about the foreman's wife.
Oh yes, that foreman wife. Let's just say she's a cougar in the camp. Yes. I would be checking him over, trying to bring his temperature down.
And you can feel his temperature is sky high. There's bodily fluids running out of almost every orifice, and he's smelling like sort of sweet, but also really, really rotten at the same time. And as you check him out, you discover some fine black dust on his worker's shirt, his rough spun tunic.
Interesting. This substance may be causing this. All of these signs in my days being a healer, it's a combination of multiple illnesses and viruses all in one.
About this time, I think Aquarius would hear the uproar coming from the tent with all the wheezing and all the talking, and he would come and poke his head in. Is everything all right?
No.
And as he's doing that, because he's here on a on a checkup of the mine, and he was talking to the foreman who follows him.
Things are not good. I think we have a early sign of a epidemic going on. Bring the foreman here. Time is the essence.
And as you say the foreman, he pokes his head through the opening of the tent as well. What's going on here?
Perfect timing. You need to shut down Shaft B. I found a substance probably causing a epidemic. We need to shut down the camp, not at least outside contact, and solve what is going on here before it spreads. And I point to the dwarf.
And the foreman just nods because, well, there has been some accidents in the mine, so he knows this has to go fast. So he retreats, and you hear footsteps, and you hear his voice yelling. Part of why he's the foreman is because everyone in the whole camp can hear him when he's yelling. And his work start going on, and you know he's doing his job.
Awesome. So tell me what's is this disease? What's
Mm.
causing it?
Uh, a brief
And be
exam.
quick about it.
A brief
Comment.
examination. I discover a fine black powder. I would assume this substance the dwarf found in the tunnel, and I show you the black substance.
Look, Reyes would look it over. Go. Doesn't look like anything I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot.
There are many things to be left to discover in the tunnels here.
Mm.
You see why I called called the order that I did.
No, then
Yes, yes. You did adequately.
Hmm.
I suppose I'll have to send in for some researchers to figure this out.
Yeah, we need to keep this on the low key. We do not need to send Morphia to the base to our camps. Life is already hectic there as is. Having a academic news there makes things way worse than they have to be.
I have a few people we can trust. I'll call them in. But in the meantime, we should definitely check out the mine.
Good. I will examine our patient here and see what I can do for him.
Good, good. Keep an eye on others that come in contact with him too.
Pass the message along. If anyone is feeling ill, tell them to come to me right away.
Good. And he would walk out a bit to grab one of the local olds and tell him to pass the word along. Stick his head back in the tent. So, who's coming to the mine? We need to figure out the source and whether it's what's the words contagious through air contact or how it spreads.
I would assume at this point a Cal character would be
Cal just talked. Cal just talked. He's playing in his character.
I've been coughing for a little while now.
Yeah. So you notice he's also starting to tears are starting to form at his in his eyes and starting to run down his cheeks as well, and mucus starts flowing from his nose as well. And another guy's come in carrying an old lady whose eyes are covered up.
May I ask what is her problem exactly? Does she need a medical treatment right away? What? Is something wrong with her eyes?
I'm blind, you fool! Put me down!
Okay, a feisty one, I see. I like that.
Over at Hawking Ghost. You said this patient, this dwarf was in Shaft B. Were you there as well?
Shaft B, yeah.
And what of the other miners who weren't in Shaft B?
They seem alright.
And by then, a few more miners start coming in, and some of them are actually not from Shaft B, and they are showing the same symptoms, and it's getting harder and harder for Verstark to not cough and hold back the tears, even with his orcish constitution.
Yep. He's trying as hard as he can to keep himself composed, but he's slowly just curling up into a ball.
I would send one of my orderlies to ask for more assistance. Look like we are going to be up all night here, my Fräulein.
About this time, you would notice locally as it started real faintly to cough, often seems to be labored breathing, but it seems to be a very minor compared to what everyone else is going through.
Okay. I say this is actually a very fine place to stop because I'd say the question is answered pretty well.
I
Yes.
agree.
And I think we also figured out that it's not just physical contact, but it's also airborne.
Oh yeah, this is a plague, and it's going to be bad.
So, awesome job, everyone. That
Oh yes.
was a pretty good scene.
Uh,
Although I'm still curious if it was actually the Black Rock or not, right?
Yeah.
We don't exactly know that, but that's the good thing about a plague. You don't really know what's the cause of it until you find the cure or something.
Exactly.
For all we know, the dwarf probably kissed the rock.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe the dwarf was in a stupor and thought the rock was a attractive female dwarf.
And he kissed it, got dwarf AIDS.
Yes.
Black rock AIDS. Oh, that's so bad.
Okay, so let's take a minute or two break, use the bathroom, refill drinks, and we'll come back and then we'll go to Donald next to make an event, a period, or a scene.
Cool.
See you in a bit.
So we will be back in like 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Toodles.
Bye.
Secret message of the day. Friday, September 2nd, at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. German D&D will be hosted in a Dragon Grid and one shot with a very special guest from Absolute Tabletop. So stay tuned and be sure to watch.
Oh my god.
Is everyone here? I hear whole voices.
No, I'm not.
I think most of us are back, if not all of us.
Okay. Okay, it was my turn, so I'm going to have a in-between period.
Okay.
This period, it would be the settlement period of the camps being made.
Okay. Okay.
So camps being made as people come down to settle, and then this can be extended to the other event period as well.
Yeah.
Later, become bigger cities.
I would say this would be kind of where they are the tent cities, where they're picking locations, that kind of deal.
Yeah, so 10 cities first, then buildings come later, or at least what would be constituted buildings.
Okay. Hey, awesome. So it would go to Cal to make an event, a period, or a scene.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I guess I don't know. We could do an event.
Okay. So what event would you like to see?
Hello.
Like possibly like the event that caused like through all the chaos and everything from heading down and trying to get set up and everything, where the racial differences started to come into play, and some of the races started to not like other races for certain reasons, and stuff like that.
Okay. So I would say that would probably go under period 1.5, where camps are being made. And that would be kind of one of the deals with it would be the racial tensions.
Okay. So would that be classified as period 1.6?
I would. It
1.5?
would be event, and
Event 1.5A, just like the event above.
Period.
yeah, 1.5A.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
Just short and sweet, just so we know what it is about.
And we don't need to say why they become an issue, because as if we do a scene in it, that would answer why.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would be surface differences.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of history from up on the surface that comes down with them. Maybe certain races are trying to claim the better locations. And so that could be part of it.
Oh, yeah, that could definitely be part of it.
So, Trish, what would you like to add? At a period, an event, or a scene?
Hmm. There's the.
Oh, hush up. No, it hasn't.
Something vast. Don't do that.
Yes, I have a vast running temporarily while I'm renewing my Northern.
Yeah, Vest doesn't. So.
Yeah, it bites. It tries to say everything's a threat, and I know the particular file it's talking about. It doesn't like one of my games, which I've never had an issue with viruses or nothing coming from that game.
I had issues with Norton, so I switched to another program.
Yeah, Northern can be picky. It does pretty good, though. Okay. So she's adding a period. Good.
Play causes panic, depression, and social
outrage.
Yeah.
Outcastings.
I see where this is going.
Nice.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay. So it will go to me next.
Awesome.
And I am actually going to go under event 2.2. And I am going to make a scene.
Oh.
Scene. Time for an
2.2a. And my question is going to be, what is the ancient technology discovered, and how does it affect the society founded below the surface?
Awesome. I already know one character that I want to add.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea of what the ancient technology is based on kind of my own concepts, but we shall see.
No, I don't have my
I
near me.
I
Anyone
think
know how old gnomes can get?
it doesn't really matter.
Oh, right, the short lifespan. That's true.
Yeah. Purge.
I think we'll put her as 50. Still young for a gnome, but
Now.
Yeah.
Unknown.
And then NPCs, thinking.
Sorry, can't no race or nothing for me. Yeah. Okay. Advisor. Cool. Assistant. Okay. And what is Cal and It's going to play.
That's a good question.
Hmm.
Is that your one there?
You just do it wherever. I've just got my pointer there.
Or do they want to play the NPCs?
That is always.
That's always a thought.
Okay, a wizard's good to have.
How tall is your clay mound?
Play Mound. That's just his last name.
Okay, does the elf have a certain pronoun that it prefer to go by?
Well, it's a male, so
No, I don't know how exactly I'd put that.
you know what? We got too many males.
Yeah, I'm actually going to change Maverick research partner email.
How did everyone change?
I'm
That's
actually,
gonna be a really hard part for me to play. So
I'm actually just going to say unknown for mine.
Trish, are you sure you're not going to pick a character that actually fits in the scene this time? Because
I'm trying to think of something.
I noticed the last two scenes, you picked some characters that didn't necessarily have to show up, and the only reason they were there is because someone else introduced them. That's someone
Damn
else.
it, they're onto me.
Yeah. Sorry, Trish.
Yes.
No can do. You have to. I think you should actually be the front runner for this one. There
All
you
right,
go.
then.
Yep.
All right. Now you're in trouble.
Oh. Well, hope he has a name and a backstory and some good lines because you're up.
Well, if he doesn't, it's your fault, 'cause I was just going to be a rock.
Oh, no,
Okay, it could have a intelligent.
you're the one playing.
I blame you! I wanted to be a rock!
But that's
You
too
do-
easy.
You do not know Vox could have feelings and could walk and talk.
Then why did she say random rock? She didn't give it a
Random
name or
rock just
anything.
sitting there.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can't. Sorry, Trish. No can do. You have to do this properly.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of kick it off, setting in kind of the scene. And that will be why Joanne is digging in the mine. His pickaxe breaks through a wall and opens into an extremely large cavern in which there appears to be some kind of vessel sitting there.
Okay, so who have we got here? Right. No other miners with me. Alright. Oh, alright, yeah. I'm gonna reach in and push my way through and get into there. And so it's like a pot almost. At first that's what it looks like. Until he touches it and it was more like a clay formation that had just like formed around it, like as it solidified. And it's this large ball that could fit quite comfortably in the hand, like the size of a tennis ball. And he stares at it for a moment, still trying to work what it looks like. It seems to be maybe copper or nickel in appearance, but it doesn't feel that. It feels warmer than a metal. It's quite confusing for him. And as he turns it over a little bit, his thumb accidentally touches something, and it's like legs just spring out of it, and all of a sudden this ball looks like this large spider in his hand, and he drops it and he steps back and oh, and picks it up
Okay.
again, and he turns around and he runs out and he's like, I found something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So who does he run into? That's the big question.
He trips over a gnome, actually.
Oh, hey, look where you're going. Hey, oh, Joanne, what's going on? You seem to be in an awful hurry.
He manages to keep hold of this thing as he trips and slides across the ground. And he holds it up and he says, maybe you'd know what this is. I found it. It was a ball, and now it's a spider.
Oh my gears! And she runs over and yanks it out of your hand. And you're impressed by the speed of this tiny little thing, and she just starts looking at it, and she has these kind of spectacles that you can like flip them down to enhance the view, and she looks like very close to it. This is amazing. This is impressive. What the hell is it? Where did you find it? And she looks really excited, and her assistant Bill, who's never really far away, he just comes trudging over because he's really tired. It's been a long day, and this gnome just doesn't know how to stop. So he just, Bernie, what did you find now? This look at it, look at it. Isn't it amazing? It's like all those legs and gears. I have never seen anything like it. Take a look. And she hands it to him, and she's, it's a metal spider. No, it's not. Now, Joan, where did you find this? And she looks excitedly at Joan.
And he just points stupidly behind him at the hole in the wall.
And she bolts off. And her poor assistant just, well, go get Maverick. He might also know something. And then he follows slowly, tiredly, dragging his steps, sighing loudly.
Okay. So, Bernadette, you are going to the hole that was made?
She's at the hole and squeezing in and just looking around, and I have no idea what she's doing.
Okay, you see this extremely huge cavern-like chamber, and in the middle appears to be some kind of transport ship.
So there's this kind of big mural in the back, or what? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Did you say like a portrait or something, or?
Transport ship.
Oh, transport ship. Ah, okay. Sorry. And she's ecstatic, and runs towards it and just start examining every nook and cranny, every little part of it outside, and it seems to be made from the same material as the spider, but it's somehow denser, and it also looks like a spider in a way, with long, spindly, powerful legs that should easily be able to lift it and a heavy load up. And she's looking at the joints and all the outside. If there is any outside wiring, she's trying to examine that. The only thing she finds is some minor damages to the joints and hull.
Okay. You do notice a small section that looks almost underneath of it, but it looks like you could actually put the metal spider there, and it might open up some kind of latch.
She puts the spider in like her back. How she has she has her on-the-go toolkit strapped around her waist, and she always has this pocket for something shiny she finds, and she puts it down there. There's much room left after a day's work, but she managed to put it down there, and she pulls out her wrench, and she starts to see if there's something she can turn, since she doesn't find it, she just starts banging on the plate to hear any sounds, because it's too early to put that spider in.
You don't hear anything but the echo of your banging. And the people coming up behind you.
Mm-hmm. And once again, she's ecstatic by the fact that it's hollow. And she runs towards the new people. Oh, look! It's big and it's amazing, and I think it walks and it's cool, and I want to go inside, but I don't want to use this. She pulls out the spider and puts it back in, but I still want to go inside, so I'm using this. And she points to a wrench, and she runs back to the plate and starts banging on it again.
And I imagine about this time I'm Maverick and Kevin would show up.
Hearing the commotion, Maverick and his research partner investigate. What is it, Bernadette? Are you trying to wake the dead up? Some of us are trying to get some sleep. We are not the Energizer Bunny.
But who can sleep at a time of this? This is amazing discovery. You got to come look. It's amazing. Come here, come here. And she waves you over.
Fine. This better not be a waste of my time, or else, me and you tomorrow we are going to be drinking until we fall asleep. It is a waste of time.
No time for that. We gotta open this.
Maverick and his partner would be examining the item, taking note. We need to be cautious. We do not know what this is.
And what is Kevin doing?
So Terrence, kind of staring at this thing, not sure what it is. He takes a few steps towards it, and I take at this point he could feel its magic in it. Very dimly. Not currently active at all.
Yeah, you would get almost the sense at this magic, but it's been like powered down.
Yeah.
So.
And he kind of runs his hand along it, feeling it, and he looks up to the ecstatic gnome.
Well, down.
Down. Well, aren't they on top of it?
No, she's below. She's below it.
It would be looking down, not up, if you're facing him. Or her.
Actually, she starts pulling on the clothes. Can you lift me up? I want to go on top. And she's pointing to at the top of this thing.
I will lift her up, and
you can feel her vibrate. Yeah, you can feel her vibrate from pure ecstasy.
And he just places you on top, and he places a hand on it. This is a very interesting find.
Oh yes. And she's running around the edges, taking care not to fall off, and studying the top. It's completely flat. It's completely smooth up here. There's absolutely no imperfections here. And look at this. And she's starting to become more and more incomprehensive as she's frothing at the mouth, just out of
Bernadette, in my bag here, I have a chill pill for you.
And as you say, chill pill, she falls backwards because it's just too much for her. So
okay, Maverick would catch Bernadette and try to wake her up. See, I told you you're too energetic for your own good.
Mm.
And as all this is going on, Terrence, you notice the same thing Bernadette did, that it looks like there's a small indenture in the shape of a spider.
The spider has now fallen out of her pocket because it was loosely inside it.
What I would
Probably
see
get
the
it.
I see the I would see the spider falling. This hold on to this. We don't want to lose this. And pick up the spider.
Okay.
And Terrence hold out his hand, staring at the marks that look like the spider would fit perfectly.
Mm.
And he says, "Can I see that a moment?"
Yes, yes. Don't damage it.
And he places the spider, and he takes a step back, and he says, "I would be careful. I do sense magical remnant."
Mm.
As you say this, you see the spider start to melt out into the ship, and then there's a shimmering effect, and it looks like the ship just part of it melts and becomes a ramp, and what looks to be like an air dock heading into the vessel.
Yeah, and you manage to wake up Bernadette just at that moment, and when she sees it open, she starts frothing at the mouth and faint again.
Okay, I wake Bernadette up again. Just want
You-
to see her suffer.
You can't. She's completely out cold, and Bill comes over and just hand her over. I'll take care of this. And he takes her from you and sits down at the edge, and he takes out some bottle and opens it and start pouring it down the gnome's throat. And he just sits there observing because he knows she'll want to know everything that has happened while she was out. Because it always happens.
And Terrence would peek inside.
Okay, you kind of walk up a ramp. It feels pretty solid underneath you. You peek inside. Looks like it's a long corridor, it looks like up ahead it leads to some kind of chamber, but you can't really make out what's in the chamber.
So Terrence just looks back to everyone. It's like, "Well, let's go." And he starts walking.
I would join the group, telling my partner, make sure Bernadette doesn't die on us.
I'll take care of that, Bill says as he sits continuing to pour. He's actually emptied a bottle and now pulls out another and starts pouring that. It will take a few minutes, but we'll follow you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Maverick and his partner enter and taking notes.
You go to his chamber, and if any of you are fans of Star Trek, think of like a Borg cube.
Oh, I get
inside.
it.
Oh my god!
Oh,
And
cool.
you see like it's not quite as extensive, but there seems to be like 100 cubicles with these humanoid bodies made of this metal. Oh, and there seems to be a little panels by each cubicle.
Oh. Seeing all of the cubicles, I began investigate one of them.
Okay. Are you going to touch the panel?
Yes, I begin touching the panels.
Okay, as you do so, it lights up, and Tibbins, you would feel that magical or remnant starting to come back to life, and very slowly, the body that's in this cubicle or kind of stiffens up, eyes open, says, "I am Forge.
Oh, cool. Cool.
You reactivated me
How long have you been deactivated for?
a very long time.
Hmm.
In fact, where are we?
You're in a ship of some kind.
Yes, I meant what planet.
I would tell him what the planet name would be that the setting would be in.
Never heard of it. Must have been asleep for centuries.
What is the current date?
Star date.
He thinks for a moment. Date?
Time. How you measure time? Hours, minutes. What is the date that you know currently at
He
is?
says 10 clicks past reactivation.
Okay, not going to get any real straight, clairvoyant answer from you.
And you hear a rustle from outside, and Bernadette just storms into it. What did you find? What did you find? What did you... Oh my! Oh
Bernadette, remember your breathing exercises. We don't need you to faint a third time.
Thank you, Mom. And she runs towards this humanoid metallic figure, runs around it 3 times, and starts climbing it. And her face is right in front of its face, and she just stares at it for 10 whole seconds, not saying anything. And then
Why this is going on? Maverick facepalm himself. I am embarrassed.
at the sound of the impact from your palm and your face, she holds out her finger. Shh. What?
We're custom. I am Forge. What are you?
I'm Bernadette Springsprocket, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And she jumps down. How did you get here? And she just looks at him with large eyes. Very
Yep.
He walks out of the cubicle, or kind of brushes his Maverick aside, starts tapping on the panel. Goes, seems like there was a malfunction.
Oh no!
We crashed.
Oh no! You poor thing. We'll have to fix you up. And she pulls out her wrench and starts examining him for damages. And there is, as he walks, there is a slight limp to him. And she looks at his joints and, oh, it just needs a bit of oil. And she greased the joint, and he feels that it helps a bit.
Much better. Because we were hunting fugitives.
Fugitives? Oh my gears! This is amazing. We got to tell people.
They're called the Canal, a shadowy type creature.
Wait. Can you describe these shadow creatures? We encountered something we call shadow creatures. Could it be the same?
He pulls up an image, and they look exactly alike.
Those creatures drove us down here
And
from the
even-
surface to the underground.
The
even
miner
Bernadette,
is standing in the doorway now, and he's just staring open mouthed for a moment, hearing that. He's like, "It's your fault! It's your fault we're down here!"
Goes, no.
it's not his fault. He didn't know it. It wasn't his fault. It just happened. But we can fix
And
it.
Terrence takes a step towards this forge, and he says, "If you have been chasing them, do you know how to get rid of them?"
Easy. Exterminate them.
I think we found our answer. And now to find the method.
Oh, yeah.
Goes, I am the method.
And Bernadette is just. She looks like a 5-year-old girl at her birthday party. I want to examine all of this.
He tells you guys to come along, and he leads you out of the vessel.
Hmm.
And inside the huge chamber, he grows to be like 15 feet tall, and looks like there's basically a pilot seat in him. Goes, so who will be the pilot?
Bernadette, I volunteer you.
I was going to volunteer myself if I wasn't so close to fainting. And she's just about to collapse until Bill catches her and hits her a bit on the cheek. There. You can go. And she starts climbing up forge and climbs into the seat.
Okay.
This is amazing.
And that, as you sit down, it's like a metal helmet with the wires that come down, and they catch them. Elves.
And I imagine this like being some like those what is it? They made those movie with those giant robots some time ago. I don't know.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those. Yeah, it's one
Yeah,
of those.
it's kind of a Pacific Rim kind of deal, except for Forge is intelligent
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
not just a robot.
Mm-hmm. So
I
does
think we have answered the question of what they found and how it's going to impact the society.
I'd say so. And a very excited. No, the seat is wet, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
I
very-
want to know what body fluids.
It's
very
moist. Sorry. So
So we need to come back into our document,
mhm.
and we need to kind of write down from the couple scenes we've done. Found alien vessel that is hunting the other creatures with robotic AI I met inside, and then we need to come. Okay, never mind. Someone already did that.
Do what?
About out the other scene, and then kind of answered the question,
Mm,
but someone had already typed it into the document. So I think we have done pretty good.
mm.
Yes, we had how the plague first appeared, how the first settlement came to be, yeah, and then the technology part covered.
Yep. So the only part I really want to make sure we get tonight would go under period 3,
Mm-hmm.
and the faction war,
Oh yeah.
and we want to do set heading to who is just what we're gonna call it. And this is going to be kind of where the campaign starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the starting scene.
Oh yeah.
So I picture this taking place during the faction war, which is why I said it goes under period 3. I would say by this time they have revived some of the other AIs with mechs, and so there's maybe 20 of them, and like each faction has claimed just half of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the initial setting for the scene? I kind of like the idea of the group being like a strike force with the mechs.
Yeah.
Yes, having
And then,
humanoid and mechs working together.
so
I
so
almost
I
feel
kind
like
of so I kind of like that. So I think we would say some kind of military outpost
mm-hmm.
for one of the factions, and it doesn't matter which one. Players will decide that, and that players are paired with a robotic AI mech. So I picture the initial scene being in like a barracks type setup, but they call for the mission and to either strike against the other faction and to explore further underground or above ground.
I'm thinking above ground.
Yeah, it really depends on which faction the player choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
We'll see. Or you'll see.
exactly. So, is there anything else we want to include in that initial setting, other than our player characters and the mechs?
Well, I guess technically it would be my turn now, but honestly, I don't see how we could like establish any of the other things. Like that should probably be the how the deal with the outsiders is made. That would probably be like the most interesting thing to see in a scene, but I'm not really feeling it. So
Okay,
I'd say
how about this period have a event mm, uh, outsiders
well, we already have the Outsiders event up in first period, where
Yeah,
the Outsiders made a deal to the Surfacers. Um,
which,
so,
which obviously by this point hasn't worked out.
hmm yeah,
thinking probably a divide among certain outsiders that and their factions some want to stay, some want to go to the surface.
yeah. But then I think the Outsiders are kind of treated like deities. So I think this should probably be something that should be more, uh, bless you, explored in game
Yeah,
instead of it here. So I'd say, yeah, these things are the other yeses can be covered while playing.
exactly.
I think it's pretty good for
I'm
now.
thinking more for like setting to what do we want to make sure is there. because that's basically gonna be our first session where we play.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a little way of prepping a little bit for it.
I'm just thinking airport code, right? What's W?
Obviously there would be some kind of elite
Oh yeah.
issuing orders. Um, I do we want to say by now the cure for the plague has been found?
Yes.
No. No. I wouldn't say so. I'd say that's one of the reasons why people either want to go up or down. That is actually, it should be
Okay.
something that should be done while playing. It should be open to see if the players actually manage to find the cure.
Yeah.
So I'd say no.
Okay. Hey, so I'm trying to think of like some initial setup stuff.
Well, it could be something like it's a military task force heading to the surface for diplomatic reasons, possibly information gathering, um, things of that nature.
Yeah. And it's
Also,
and it's same if they choose the faction to go down.
Mhm.
They would want scout outs ahead to kind of map out territory.
yeah,
So I think we got a pretty good thing. I don't see that there's really any other NPCs or anything we really need to include,
No.
except for possibly one thing. How does being on the with the mechs and affect pirates? And that I think will be answered in game.
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely.
Because I can't imagine there being like a perfect mesh and there not being some kind of effect.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think for our viewers, it would be an idea to show the document from top to bottom. Show how a microscope document looks when you're.
Sure.
Okay, here the top, the theme, the
Okay.
rated.
So
Let Donald, because when he talks, it's going to be his character, his portrait in focus.
yeah,
Okay.
before he begins though, I wanted to explain that this is not what the typical microscope uses. They suggest index cards. It's because we're online, we figured a Google document would be easier to use.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
go ahead, Ed. Donald, kind of read through what we got,
Uh,
and
we
kind of explain how we came up with it.
first in the first session before this, Jared, you can just put the link in the description later. We covered the theme, the races we would be using, classes, and then we had a yes and no what we want to have. This we covered in the first session, so watch that if you want to learn more. After the yeses and no, we had the setting shows upon being in the Earth. Based upon the setting, what happened next is up to us. And then we have the periods, which have a event set in the scene as you've seen so far, with the walls. And then we are at period 3 now, with setting 2. I think I covered the gist of it.
Awesome. There are a couple things I wanted to kind of highlight. Based on stuff we came up with, something we haven't covered very much is that domesticated, selected, breeded animals who are social species are able to talk and have human intelligence.
I think that's something that should be discovered in game as well.
Yeah. This is more for our viewers. There's no deities. A divine magic books on power of belief. It's definitely gonna be kind of a medieval tech level with some steampunk with the mechs and X mixed in. And the biggest two things I think haven't really been touched on as for the setting is that this world is basically a melting pot of the universe, all the dimensions and planes cross there, and that something evil has already won. And up to this point, we've kind of taken the assumption that it's the shadow creatures, but maybe it's not. Maybe there's something worse, or there's something that's driving them. So that's going to be very interesting for the campaign. And we have a pretty good history kind of built up. So with that being said, we're going to actually stop using the microscope for tonight, and we're just gonna kind of talk a little bit about our experience of it and what we liked. And I would like Cal to start off because he wasn't able to do it last week because of his migraine.
And that was a horrible migraine that was. It actually put me to sleep in the middle of the day. So with the microscope being, this is my second session ever looking at it and toying around with it like this. I would definitely say it's a really cool idea, and I think even like a home game should definitely implement something like this, because you can get so many people involved in creating the world that they would like to play in, and you can have people throwing around ideas that not everyone will completely agree with, but you can compromise and bring your own ideas into the world, which then the DM afterwards, or GM in some cases, will be able to use all of this stuff that everyone has created to make a very interesting, unique story to fit everyone's likings. And I think it is awesome, and I think from now on with my family games and any games I do online with my friends, I'm probably going to be using something very similar to this. So
exactly. Even if all you use the yes/no section.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That section alone is so good.
And it's really good for a session 0 kind of a deal. And the thing I like you mentioned, Cal, is your players are invested in it before you ever even begin a session. because they
Exactly.
help make it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've helped make and form this world, and they're excited for the story that they're going to be partaking in. They have no idea what the story is going to be, but they know it's going to be exciting, and they're looking forward to it. And that hype straight off the bat is really important, and it can really change the whole mood set for the entire game.
Exactly. So, oh, is there anything you didn't like or didn't feel worked quite well with the system?
Um, Honestly, not really. I don't have any real complaints about it at all. It seems like it's very simple, straightforward, and it makes you want to slap yourself in the face while you haven't thought of doing that before. But it's so simple and straightforward. There's not really much you can complain about.
Yeah.
And if there is anything that you could complain about, you could easily just add it on or anything like that. It's just like, oh, but why do we have something like this? Just tack it on. If
Yeah.
everyone else agrees, tack it.
The two things I would say are disadvantages with it is there's no kind of determination for combat, such as a combat system in like 5e, and it is extremely time consuming.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we could burn probably a year's worth of session just diving into this setting we made and never actually play.
What is wrong with that?
Yeah, there would be nothing wrong with that if that's what everyone wanted to do.
As a storyteller myself, and I mostly do DM work, my favorite part of the process is creating the world. So I'd be
Exactly.
quite content to do that for over a year. I have
Exactly.
no problem.
And there is some stuff. I do have some upcoming videos. I've already done one on using the system to make a character. We're gonna dive into using it to make magic items, using it to define the lore of a specific location, using it to prep a one-shot or a campaign plot, developing a race, just all sorts of things that are in the typical sessions and can be done with the system.
It's a very cool system, and probably the next game that I'm going to be running, which was planned for next month, possibly, was going to be my steampunk game. And I've never done steampunk before, so I've been watching like a lot of different people doing steampunk worlds and their creation process to it, and all the interesting intricate whatever things
Yeah,
they've been. I can't say it. For some reason.
Intertrick.
Yeah,
see?
almost said we can't say it.
And
I
I want
would
to use them.
I would suggest, as if you have it already, watch the Rogue DM
Yeah, I
channel,
have.
Clockwork Opera.
I did. I saw your video when you were doing the one-on-one with her, and I went and checked out her channel, and I've been watching that, and that's actually been a lot of fun to watch. So, and it's given me a lot of insight to how like guns and stuff like that can actually work in that kind of format. And it's been really entertaining. There's been a lot of funny moments in that series. So guys, if you haven't seen that, go watch that. Like seriously, go watch that.
Yeah, she's an awesome role player and awesome DM. So I really enjoy it when I get the chance to. So let's go to Trish and kind of get her feedback on tonight. Not just the system, because we all did the system bit last week.
Well, I'm definitely going to be adopting this method. I think it's good. Like many times in a game, we've been stopped momentarily from something. It's like, well, how do these locals feel about us and stuff like that, and or well, how's this affecting everyone else in this town? And it's something you don't think of before you start the game. You can have everything sorted out and you've forgotten that. And like, um, is my necromancy frowned upon by anyone? And you don't really think of that at first. You don't think how it's going to affect the whole community. And I think with this, you can lay all that out. You can get all that out there and find out what you're actually getting yourself into before you get into it.
Brings everything to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's an awesome tool for setting things up. So, Trish, was there any specific thing in our tonight's session that you really liked?
Well, I love the fact that you brought a mech into it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, I had that planned and out as soon as we said there was ancient technology.
Maybe you get to play at that random walk.
Yeah, I reckon I should be able to play as a rock because I play a good rock.
Although I had not planned on it being an alien robotic AI, I had planned on the vessel and there being a mech X ship, but I was like, okay, I need a character. I really enjoyed playing in DM Drake's Dragon Green game, in which I played Ada Turmher called Verge. I'm like, okay, let's just combine the concepts. And that tonight was the result of that.
And it turned into something beautiful.
Yes.
Exactly. It was just like an awesome play in that intelligent mech.
It was pretty cool.
I was a sort of surprised seeing that.
It was. I did not expect that.
I kinda did. And was really hoping that it was what I was expecting. And it was, so yeah.
Awesome. So, Christian, how about you? A couple thoughts on the system real quick, and then maybe like your highlight of tonight's session.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk on the world building aspect of this, but I also really like the role playing aspect of this, where you, in the third part of it, where you create the scenes and you can really challenge yourself in your own role playing by doing this. If you're not feeling confident in your role playing, it's a good thing to try this out and create. Just not skip over, but do the first two steps really lightly, and then go full on the third part if you just want to be better at role playing. And you can create all these characters, and you're not bound to any of them. Personally, I have a lot of characters that I want to play, but I only play in a few separate sessions, separate campaigns, and I don't get to play all of them. But this is a great way to just completely unbound try all the kind of weird ideas you want, and who knows, you might come up with something completely new that you had never thought about before, and then you can challenge yourself as a role player, as an improv artist, as anything by doing this. And that also ties into my highlight, because I really love playing Bernadette. It just happened.
Yeah, that was totally awesome.
Yeah, it just happened by itself. I had never even thought about anything like this. It wasn't until you talked about that you wanted to before the break that you wanted to introduce the ancient technology. That's when she started forming inside my head, like this hyperactive inventor artificer type. She had to be gnome, of course, and then she just evolved from that and started being her own character. And if I'm going to guest play in this campaign, I am definitely going to guest as her.
Awesome. One of the things I like to like with the aspect of the scenes is you don't really put much into making a character. You give them a name, a race, a class, whether they're male or female, and you play.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely.
The and it's kind of unique in that there's no set personality, there's no mechanics to it. It just you will play wherever you think this person would be.
hmm That's awesome. And another part that's also really cool is that like everyone gets the chance to be the DM. Like everyone gets the chance to set the scene, set what's happening around them,
Exactly.
and there really no limit to what can happen. It's the ultimate, let's call it a yes game, where you have to say yes to anything that's happening, and it just it works, and I love it.
Exactly. It's really nice having that no DM. Although I did kind of step in a little bit as a DM would,
Well, so
uh,
did I. So did
but
I.
but it was kind of needed to
Mm,
set the scene and to give you guys kind of what I was saying with the vessel.
mhm.
Oh.
Definitely. There
And
needs
I
to be.
loved how it worked that the Trish had misunderstood what I meant by vessel.
Mm,
And then I just turned it into the key to the ship.
mm.
Improvisation.
Yeah, it's improvising. That's right.
Exactly. That
I,
was just like totally awesome how that all played out.
oh yeah, definitely. That was so much fun. And I again, both Trish and Cal have talked about, and we talked about that last time also. That this game works well for. It works really good, really well for making campaign settings, but it also works extremely well just to have some role-playing fun with some friends. I mean,
Exactly.
I could easily imagine myself calling over some friends and say, "Hey, let's do some Microscope and just have some fun playing theater with each other. No audience, no script, just go with it."
Exactly. And
Mm.
and I would say if they added a combat system such as rolling a D20, high roll wins, tie goes to defender, I think that's all I ever need.
It could become
Yeah,
a world-building game.
it could.
That would
Exactly.
be awesome.
Yeah, I like it, and that's a really good idea. Yeah, I think it's not what this needs. It's like an optional rule
Yeah,
that could work really well, but the system works. It works excellently without it. It's not
exactly.
necessary, but it
Mm.
could be a good idea.
One thing I like about this system, it's it is it is, the person that made it organized it in a way that it is easy to pick up and use.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I found out, and it's kind of rare because I cannot explain what microscope is to anyone other than tell them to, hey, go watch this video or come join a session.
I guess the best way to describe it, it is a session slash a world world building tool.
Yeah, that's kind of like the best thing I found is it's like it's a outside in world building, story building tool. And that's basically the best way I've been able to describe it, but people knew what I meant without watching a video or experiencing it. However, with that being said, every single person that has watched a video that I know of or has joined a one-shot or one of my sessions has learned it within, maybe an hour. So it's really simple or to pick up on, excellent to use, some very nice and well thought out ways of adding a lot more depth to your setting, your campaigns, and without having the DM do all the work and then present it to the players. So I think it's excellent. Next week we will be using it to make basically the character concepts and background stories kind of what you would bring to a typical session 0. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing what people come up with that they want to play, and then the players will take those concepts and that background story, and they'll make level 1 and 5e characters, and we'll dive into the setting. So, I hope the viewers enjoyed it as much as we did, and until next time, may the dice always roll in your favor.